We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how Bitcoin is approaching a massive level of resistance, that level being $28,545. Now, if you've been following this live stream, then you'll know that we've been watching Bitcoin test this level over and over and over again over the last 2 weeks. We've watched Bitcoin rally to this level multiple times, and as it's rallied to this level, it has tested this level. Let's see, if I remember correctly, I want to say at least 7 times. Over the last 5 hours and change, we've watched Bitcoin rally aggressively, and it looks like Bitcoin is going to be able to test that level once again relatively soon. We've rallied multiple $100s over the last 3 to 4, 5 hours. So now the question becomes, will Bitcoin be able to test this level again, since we just had a huge test on it over just the last couple of days? And then could we break that level and start moving on up towards $32,935, which is that next massive level of resistance that we're looking for, that basically defined when Bitcoin entered into its bear market. We're going to be talking about all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live, while kind of bringing together and amalgamating everything that we've talked about so far this week, and then looking into the future at what may be happening over the course of the next couple of months. I'm very excited to bring you today's episode, so let's go ahead and read some chat. As I said, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys, by the way, for all the support in chat for the background. Just finished this yesterday. This is what I've been teasing you guys over the last little bit. I do need to work on the framing a little bit. I'm a little bit off-centered. Let's see. There we go. Right there. That's where I'm supposed to be. All right. Let's read some chat here. Rockin' Metal News in chat said, good morning. Good morning to you as well. Alex Nibo in chat, as always, being one of the first people in chat, says good morning. Sean O'Brien said, hey, hey. Ivan Cananan said good morning. Dan Nolan said, right now, right now. Right now, right now. I love that song. Thomas Post in chat, as a member, first member today in chat, said, morning fam, happy Friday. Hashtag Finsov. Richard Harrington said, what's up, Jebb? Paul K said, from Holland. Let's see. Crypto Santa said, good morning from Australia. I didn't know Santa lived in Australia, but there you go. Kiat Tan said, morning. Good morning. Wisely said, Rockin' Metal and Alex are the bane of my existence when it comes to being first, lol, JK. BNBTC Crypto Alert said, good morning. Alex Forsyth said, let's go. Good morning to you guys all. Mike Lowry said, happy hashtag Finsov. Crypto Surge said, wow, look at that background. Thank you. I hope you guys do enjoy it. It has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to build a set that I really was happy about and really just felt like I fit into for a long time. And I haven't really had a set in about 4 years that I thought, man, I just really, really love this. Like the old set that had that blue on the wall, that was pretty good. It's the one that you see in the intro right now. I still need to revamp the intro. I was kind of waiting for this set to be done so that I could have some cool stuff to put in the intro. So now the intro will probably get done in the next 2 to 3 months. Hopefully sooner than that. With a baby coming, you never know. But I haven't really felt extremely happy with a set in a long time. Ever since probably the bedroom set that I had way back before we moved into the first office. That was probably the last time that I was like, man, this is just awesome. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Let's see. Nick Gerhardt said, love the Edison bulbs. Thank you. Yes, I really like them too. I thought a lot about that. I figured it would look good. All right. Awesome background. Rock and Metal News said, morning, Jebb. It's evening here. Nice set. Max Only said, thank you so much. Quevery Dog said, good, looking good, feeling good. There you go. Slowly, then gradually, then suddenly. And yes, this is what I was teasing when I was saying, like, you guys are going to like what's over there. Yeah, been working on this for a little bit. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and jump on to coinmarketcap.com. And as you guys know, CoinMarketCap is the place that we like to start because there is quite a lot of information stored over here. And the first piece of information I want to bring to you today is that Bitcoin is trading at $28,386 and change. That means that it is less than $200 away from its local level of resistance at 28,545. Now, we've already put breach into that level of resistance multiple times. You can see even just in the last 45 minutes, we've done it again. But let's go ahead and count the number of times that Bitcoin has come up here and tested this resistance. By the way, you'll have to forgive me. I think I need to turn on my face cam down here because I was shooting Saturday's video yesterday and I keep forgetting to turn those back on. Sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and get a systematic algorithmic way of fixing that so that doesn't happen again. Apologies on that forgetfulness. All right, let's look here at Bitcoin. We had rallied up to 28,545 once here on March 20th, then also once right here on the 21st of March, then also right here on the 22nd of March, then right here on the 23rd of March. So as you can see, we actually put breach into 28,545 4 times in 4 days. Every day for 4 days, we breached 28,545 at least on a candle wick, if not even on candle bodies here on the hourly chart. Similar thing has started over the last 3 days. On Wednesday, we rallied up to and tested 28,545. Yesterday, actually, it was late last night. It was late Wednesday night moving into Thursday morning. Bitcoin rallied all the way up to a new local high at $29,189, then fell back to the downside. And I showed you guys on yesterday's live stream that Bitcoin could very well hold this uptrending level of support, this uptrending level of support, or this uptrending level of support. The point was not to say that Bitcoin was going to hold any of these 3 uptrending levels of support perfectly. The point was to say that Bitcoin is likely going to latch on to this area because of the vast number and multitude of levels of support that we are witnessing. And so Bitcoin has actually set a downtrending level of support here as well. And currently, anyway, I'll go ahead and delete this one. Bitcoin is back up above all of these trend lines, which is something that is, of course, quite encouraging. We like to see it. Over the last just 45 minutes or so, Bitcoin went through a massive rally starting here at 8:30 this morning. We rallied up above $28,000. We rallied $600 in about an hour and change, about an hour and 15 minutes, and we set a new local top, not a new local top, but our most recent local top at $28,559. That is, of course, higher than $28,545, which is our level that we are looking at. This is not something I would really call a major breach of 28,545, but it is a test, and it does show you that there is exuberance in the bulls right now. And the cool thing is, it's actually very possible that we could end up watching a break above $28,545 today during this live stream. We've actually watched that happen twice during this attempted breakout above 28,545 that we've been witnessing in this zone up here. We've been watching Bitcoin try to break this over and over, and it actually attempted to do it twice while we were live, which was, of course, very exciting. If you remember to was it Wednesday? Yes, last Wednesday, we had a little bit of a horse race going on right here. So if you want, you can go back and find that video that went up on the 22nd of March, 2023. And we watched Bitcoin breaking live, and I got to put my horse race abilities, my horse race announcer abilities to the test. I've never actually announced horse races, but people seem to think I have. Anyway, moving on to CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin is trading at 28.4. Ethereum is trading at 18.30. That is very exciting. Bitcoin is trading well into the future, and Ethereum is ever so gradually approaching the 21st century. It is up 2% over the last 24 hours. It is up 53% over the last 90 days and up 52.92% over the year to date so far. The reason that those are slightly different is because it's not exactly 90 days ago that we, down to the minute that we began the year, but those two dates are very approximate. Year to date and 90 day are almost identical right now because it was almost exactly 90 days ago that the year began. Binance is sitting at $318.99. Got a little bit of flack from old Jimmy Cramer over the last couple of days. If you guys didn't see, Jim Cramer was saying he wouldn't touch Binance with a 10-foot pole. So I guess that's a good reason to use Binance. Anyway, moving on, Cardano's doing pretty well. Rallied all the way up to 40 cents. You can see it's trading at $39.995. It's like a car commercial, guys. Up 5.76% over the last 24 hours, up 11% over the last 7 days, and up 60% year to date and over the last 90 days, which are, again, equivalent at the moment. Polygon's basically trading sideways at 111. Solana's just above $20, sitting at about a 0.75% gain over the last 24 hours. It's at 2074. It's very much in the 21st century. and it is up over 100% year to date because of the massive capitulation that it underwent during the FTX meltdown that we saw last year. So, in short, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are doing very well, and the altcoins are actually doing very well as Bitcoin is largely trading sideways. Now, Bitcoin does have a rally that it is undergoing right now, but 24 hours ago it was about here. So, on the chart, it looks like it's trading sideways. On CoinMarketCap, it looks like it's trading sideways, but on the chart, it actually looks like some of these altcoins are doing pretty well. We'll talk about the altcoins here in a little bit because we're going to try and analyze where Bitcoin has been, and we're also going to talk about where Bitcoin and the market is going. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and dive straight on into some technical analysis. Now, guys, we did just start, and we've already got over 500 people watching. So if you are enjoying today's stream, I want you to do a few things for me. First and foremost, smash the like button. We've got 500 people watching. We've only got about 70 likes. I think we can get to 300 likes here in just the next couple of minutes. The reason I ask for that is because it helps to support the channel. And if you believe that what we're talking about here, what we're doing here as a community is going to help people gain financial sovereignty, then by hitting the like button, it helps to spread this content. It helps to spread this content so that more people can learn about the methods that they need to adopt so that they can become financially sovereign. So that's why I ask you to hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the love in chat about the set. I will get to some more of that. I will get to some more chat reading here later on towards the end of the stream. As you guys know, we like to just do a big old block of technical analysis right there in the middle of the show. So let's just jump straight on into it. Alrighty. Where has Bitcoin been and where is Bitcoin going? By the way, we're going to talk about quite a lot of that in tomorrow's video. That video is shot. Now, it will be the last piece of content to go up on the channel from the old set because I did shoot it yesterday before I did all of the work on this set. So that'll be the last piece of content with the old set. So don't be startled. That video was shot yesterday, but everything in it is still absolutely relevant, and you're not going to want to miss it because I think it may be one of the best videos that we've made yet. So hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell. You guys know we upload every Saturday, and I put a lot of work into those videos so that they are the best technical analysis videos on all of YouTube for the cryptocurrency space. All right. Let's go ahead and look at what's happened over the last week here. And again, you'll get to see more of that through this chart right here, if you want a sneak peek in tomorrow's video. All right. As you guys know, CPI has been a very, very important driving factor for Bitcoin over the last several months. Ever since January, we have seen Bitcoin go into exuberant rallies as a result of CPI data releases. So just a quick side note, I can come over here to bls.gov/CPI. Again, I need to probably get a button for that. I need to bookmark this because we go here so much. You can see this is the web page that is driving the Bitcoin market. You think that Bitcoin is driving itself. You think the retail is driving it. You think the institutions are driving it. You think whoever is driving the Bitcoin market. I hate to tell you, but none of those factors are driving Bitcoin anywhere near as much as this web page is, at least in the second week of every month. Now, there are other broader, longer-term factors that are impacting Bitcoin that we've talked about: the balance sheet. We've talked about the stock market. We've talked about the Dixie. We've talked about the halving cycles. We've talked about Lux Algo's buy signal. We've talked about all kinds of things: geopolitics, war in Ukraine, agricultural nightmares that are coming in the second half of this year, breaking up of China, all of these different geopolitical realities, imminent destruction of manufacturing supply chains over the next 3 to 5 years, causing rampant inflation. Many of these things are impacting Bitcoin. The thing that has the most obvious impact on Bitcoin, besides maybe the SPY and the Dixie and their correlations, would be this webpage right here. This webpage shows us the inflation of the US dollar measured in percentage on the last year, in the last year. So you can see in major categories, this is all of the CPI data. We have 6% inflation on the US dollar over the last year, over the last 12 months. That means that the United States dollar has lost 6% of its purchasing power, and in aggregate, things have gotten 6% more expensive. The consumer price index has gone up by 6%, is actually in real terms what that means. Why is that important? Well, if you watch tomorrow's video, again, there is a schedule of releases. You can see that these vertical lines right here represent the times that we witnessed a CPI data release. And every time you see a CPI data release, Bitcoin goes through a rally. Unequivocally, it goes through a rally, and the biggest 3 rallies that we've witnessed so far this year have all been directly correlated. Now, you can't actually prove causation, but they have been directly correlated with the CPI data release. We saw a 0.6% drop right here from 7.1% down to 6.5%. Bitcoin went through a major rally. In grand total, this market would rally 48% and about $8,800 or $7,800. As you can see right here, we saw a 0.1% drop here, saw a large rally. We saw a 0.4% drop right here, and we saw a large rally. So Bitcoin has been doing very well in correlation to these CPI data releases. Now, something to keep in mind is that Bitcoin had been going through these corrective movements post CPI data release, moving close to the next CPI data drop. That's not what we're seeing right now. We saw this massive run up, and now we're plateauing up here in the middle of the CPI cycle. We're not starting a correction. And maybe we will start a small correction, maybe like what we saw over here, where we saw a small correction over the course of just a few days. But right now, Bitcoin's not going through a major correction. Instead, it's sitting above this long-term uptrending level of support that you can see right here that has come into play and been so very, very significant over the last couple of weeks. We were far, far, far below this uptrending level of support, and then we just moonshot above it, absolutely blasted off towards new local highs. And now the question becomes, are we going to see a correction before April 12th, or is April 12th going to come? We're going to see a CPI data release, and hopefully we see something greater than a 0.2% drop. And from there, Bitcoin's going to go through a massive breakout. Because, my friends, I'm not the most concerned as to whether or not Bitcoin breaks bullish right now during this stream. But I am very interested, very, very, very interested to see what Bitcoin is going to do moving into the month of April, especially if we're still sitting up here above this support at 26,686. When April 12th comes and we see a CPI data release. That is something that I am going to want to pay very close attention to, and you guys are going to want to pay very close attention to, because if that CPI data comes out, we're going to watch Bitcoin go through a massive rally. Case closed. End of story. It is that simple. CPI is the driving force of this market right now. All right, so that's what Bitcoin has done. Bitcoin has gone through rallies as a result of CPI data releases, and we have another one coming up at 8:30 a.m. Eastern on April the 12th. We've got, let's see, well, it should be 12 days until we get there, because it's March 31st. We've got 11 days, 11 and a half days, 12 days, give or take, until we get to that data release. We're under 2 weeks away. That data release is very likely going to come in, and I'll just kind of spill the beans and give you the conclusion here, and we'll kind of explain it. It's a little bit like the Gospels. You know, you're reading the Gospels, and then you're reading the book of Mark, and it introduces, and then there's the disciple Judas, who later betrayed Jesus, and it's like, wow, I'm reading this for the first, which, you know, we've read the Gospel plenty of times, but you read it for the first time, and you're thinking, wow, you just spoiled the ending there. Right? That's kind of what we're doing right now. We're just spoiling the ending. I think that Bitcoin is going to break above 28,545 over the next 2 weeks. And I do think it's going to do so in correlation and probably caused by the CPI data report. But let's go ahead and dive into why that may happen and how that may happen. Let's start down here on the 1 hourly chart. First things first, Bitcoin tried to break down below this support level at 26,686, and it failed. If you guys will remember, we drew this support level on this chart back here. Right around here, we drew this support level. We knew that this was going to be a critical support level because of simple technical analysis. Guys, if you are not studying technical analysis, I want to walk up to you and just say, why? Why not? If you're trying to understand cryptocurrency markets, it's so important because you can tell where the market's going to go. Even if you can't always predict exactly which direction it's going to go, you can normally tell where it's going to turn around. You can normally tell what levels are going to be important to it. You can get so much resolution on where the market's going. And it's not perfect. It's not a crystal ball. I don't have a DeLorean that's going to do some serious stuff when we hit 88 miles an hour. But what I do have is the most powerful predictive tool available to analysts, and that is technical analysis with a background understanding in geopolitics and macroeconomics. If you have those forces, then you can tell that if you run this forward, Bitcoin is likely going to find support at 26,686, and it might fall below it, but it's very likely going to have to contend with it. And then boom. That's exactly what the market did. You can see as we're moving forward here, that's what we witnessed. 26,686 was built by this level of resistance here, approximately at 26,516. It's not where we're getting the exact level, but you can see it gives some weight to that level. We see another test right here at 26, basically exactly 26,630, and then 26,686 is the exact low that we set here on the 22nd of March after we rejected from our initial and strongest attempted breakout above 28,545. So then we came down and back tested that. From there, As you guys know, I had an incorrect prediction. We've managed to predict most of these movements over the last month and a half with probably about a 70 to 80% accuracy. We did get this one wrong. Bitcoin we predicted here, and you can see on my chart here, this, I think I actually got rid of it because I had to, nope, the drawing's still here. You can see this was my prediction. My prediction was Bitcoin would have to go down below 26,686. Here it's drawn as 26,526, but whatever. It's basically the same level. I thought it would probably have to come down to 25,236, then rally up through the April 12th rally. That's not what happened, and I'll get back to that in a second. What Bitcoin did actually end up doing is Bitcoin did actually end up having a bounce here, and it rallied. It bounced off of higher support than many analysts, including myself, were predicting. There were tons of articles coming out back over here where people were saying, man, Bitcoin needs a correction. Bitcoin needs a correction. It's already gone through its CPI rally. I'm going to explain the rationale for why I thought it needed a correction. I'll also explain why I'm wrong, because as we talked about in yesterday's video, one of the most powerful ways to learn technical analysis is by analyzing your mistakes. It's by analyzing the areas where you were incorrect. And I'm going to tell you where I think I went wrong with that prediction, because I think it'll actually bring a lot of light to how we should look at the cryptocurrency market, but also how we should pay attention to this cryptocurrency market, because it's very relevant information to our current market. All right. The reason that I believe that took place is because if you look at Bitcoin's market here, over the last 3 months, let's look at this chart. No, it's a little bit of a spoiler. Let's look at this chart. If we look at this chart, no, let's look at this chart. I have so many different charts. I have 5 of them. I'm sorry. I have 5 Bitcoin charts. I'm a little bit of a chart nerd. If you look at the CPI halving cycles, this was cycle 1, this was cycle 2. We're currently in the midst of cycle 3, coming up on cycle 4. I call these the cycles that they are, because we weren't really seeing CPI cycles taking place during last year. That really started at the very beginning of this year. During the first cycle here, we did see a 0.6% drop on CPI, larger drop than we witnessed this time. However, Bitcoin did end up going through a small correction here. Then we saw a 0.1% drop on CPI. People were worried it was going to turn around and we were going to see positive inflation again, and we were going to go to the upside. We were going to see plus 0.3% inflation come March. Well, that's not what happened. We saw another 0.4% drop from 6.4 down to 6%. You can see the current inflation right over here. It's at 6%, as you can see. And when we did see that come into play, that kind of turned a lot of people's expectations on their head. People were pricing in that we were going to see an uptick inflation. Instead, we saw a downtick inflation, and Bitcoin went through this massive moonshot rally where we rallied over $9,000 in the span of just 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks. From that point in time, that has also caused another trend to formalize. And that is the fact that Bitcoin is now starting to rally under its own steam. Much of the rally that Bitcoin has witnessed thus far this year has been as a result of macroeconomic forces, as a result of inflation, as a result of stock market and Dixie forces, and as a result primarily of CPI data releases. Bitcoin very clearly is starting to break that trend of relying on CPI. Now, the CPI cycle, in my opinion, is still the biggest driver of Bitcoin during the second week of the month, because the second week of the month that the CPI comes out, I still think CPI will be the thing that causes the biggest rallies on Bitcoin or biggest drops on Bitcoin over the next probably 3 months. So I'm not trying to discredit how important it is. It is very important, and you can find out more about that in tomorrow's video. But what I will say is that to understand where Bitcoin is, I think you also have to understand that Bitcoin is starting to gain some of its own momentum. And I think that's where the flaw was in this prediction right here. In this prediction, we ran under the assumption that Bitcoin was still going through these corrections towards the end of the CPI cycle, because the only thing that was really causing the rally was the CPI release in the first place. So if you saw a really big CPI release like we saw in January, then great. You ended up seeing a pretty large rally. The majority of the cycle was bullish. Whereas in this case, now Bitcoin seems to be rallying of its own volition. It seems that Bitcoin is able to maintain up here on its own strength. It's able to maintain on its own footing up here around 28. Knock my cable loose. Because Bitcoin is not running into the trap that it is only being driven by CPI releases at this point. Now Bitcoin has gotten to the point where it is rallying as a result of people wanting to join the cryptocurrency space because they want to get invested in it. It's not just because of hype, as a result of CPI. That being said, Excuse me. That being said, CPI is still one of the biggest fundamental drivers of price action on Bitcoin, and it will still lead to the biggest of rallies. So that's where I think the mistake came in with this technical analysis, is I was not giving Bitcoin quite enough credit for it being able to undergo its own rallies without the help of CPI. And so we were, I think, putting a little bit too much stock in the idea that Bitcoin was going to have to go under a larger rally and have a bigger jump down into the trampoline to build up enough kinetic potential energy to go ahead and break through the ceiling at 28,545, which I believe was even the analogy that I used. It doesn't seem that Bitcoin needed that big correction. It seems, at least for now, and this could change, it seems at least for now, Bitcoin is perfectly content to sit up here and plateau at this level and just trade sideways or even break bullish, moving into the next part of our CPI cycle, which will be, of course, April the 12th. Now, this actually looks quite a bit like what we've seen in past. There are plenty of times in history where Bitcoin is beginning a bull market or is beginning a major rally, and Bitcoin looks like it should probably have a corrective movement, but it just never comes. Instead, it just trades sideways and stair steps. Instead of having the healthy rally correction, where you kind of get this like mountain range effect, sometimes Bitcoin goes through this more of a staircase effect, as you could see happened here in the back half of 2019, or in the middle part of 2019. We didn't really see any major corrections. We saw corrections in time, but we didn't see corrections in price. In total here, we saw less than a 10% correction over like 2 days. In total here, we saw like a 16% correction over 6 days. In the grand scheme of things, when Bitcoin rallied from February the 8th all the way up to June 26th, and it rallied for 138 days, $10,540, and it rallied 316% coming out of the accumulation phase, well, people were expecting bigger corrections than that. It did end up coming, by the way. Don't forget, when you build a giant rally like this, a lot of times, all of that bearishness doesn't just go away. It just gets pent up. So we ended up having the big correction all at once here. So rather than doing this and then just moving to the upside, Bitcoin just did this. It kind of just did the whole thing all at once. But on the shorter time frame, when you're just looking at this 6-month period here, it didn't really have any corrections. It had this kind of ladder effect. And that may be what ends up happening to Bitcoin. It may be that Bitcoin had a deep enough correction right here that just cut straight into the heart of the rally. This was a very, very, very deep correction that gave the bears enough of a area to reset. But then also, it's possible that Bitcoin just staircases up here. It trades sideways for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Then it just ladders up here to $32,935, which is our next major and crucial level of resistance. From there, Bitcoin could very easily just trade sideways right below $32,935 and then just keep laddering its way up. Remember this chart, guys. We made this video. This video is almost 3 weeks old now. But in this video, which you should definitely go watch, is titled How a Clock Will Send Bitcoin to $50,000. I talked about my end-of-year Bitcoin price prediction. That video is about 50,000 views, so make sure to go check it out on YouTube. It's got Michael Saylor on the thumbnail. A lot of you guys really enjoyed it. We got about 1,000 subscribers from that video, so shout out to all of you guys who joined because you watched that video. In that video, I showed this chart, and this chart right here is very, very important because it basically shows that we are coming out of accumulation, moving through the transitionary zone, and then we are moving up into what I call this little blue box here, or gray, or beige, or pink, or purple. I'm colorblind. All those colors look the same to me. So whatever color this is, moves into this box, I'll call it, area, that constitutes the pre-halving phase of the bull market. Now, if I just come here and I draw, I'm really starting to clutter up this chart now because that's kind of what I do. If I draw $32,935 here, then that's right there. Then Bitcoin could trade sideways here for a couple of weeks. Boom, after CPI or at CPI, whatever. Bitcoin could very easily just ladder straight up there. If we look at April 12th is not far away. We could ladder straight up into the pre-halving phase of the bull market and up to $32,935. So that's kind of where Bitcoin has been. Bitcoin has been beginning this laddering phase. Bitcoin has been beginning this staircase to the upside where it would likely eventually go forward and break 28,545. So now let's look at whether or not Bitcoin will break 28,545, and then let's talk about what the next couple of months may look like. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, I want you to do a few things for me. Number one, I want you to hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we are at. We've only got 250 likes. I think we can get to 300. I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. If we get to 300 likes, I'll put a cookie in chat. That's what I'll do. I'll drop a cookie in chat, cookie emoji, so that you guys can have a cookie. Thank you guys so very much for your support in chat. Robert Casanova says, I predict Jessica for Jebb's daughter's name. I'll tell you right now that is, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give you any answers. We might do something kind of fun with the, with releasing our daughter's name. But what I will say is that she could be coming like any day now. Pretty much every single day we're like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Nope, not yet. She'll be here soon. For any of you guys who are new to the channel, first of all, welcome and thank you so much for joining what I think is the #1 technical analysis show on YouTube. But we're having a baby here in the next, between the next 12 hours and 3 weeks. We're at term now, so we're 37 weeks in a day or 37 weeks and 4 days, depending on what date you go by. But we're at term, so we're going to have a little girl pretty soon. So anyway, smash the likes if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button, and also make sure to check out Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. All right. Let's jump on back to the chart. Looking at Bitcoin, will Bitcoin break 28,545 today? Well, the first thing that we have to say here is we have to make sure we set expectations very, very clearly. It is never possible to say for certain whether or not Bitcoin will break 28,545. But let me just see if I can find something really quickly here that might give us some kind of answers. Let me just see. I'm trying something. I don't know if this will work. Oh, no, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do this for a different stream. I've got a great idea, but I'm going to have to save it for another stream. Anyway, what we're talking about here is, will Bitcoin break above 28,545? The thing that you have to keep in mind is that there are no guarantees. We can't be certain that Bitcoin is going to break 28,545. But as an analyst, what we do is we look at probabilities. We look at statistics, we look at data, we look at our indicators, we look at the macro environment. Let's talk a little bit about the macro environment right now. There is quite a lot of FUD around the cryptocurrency space, and there's also quite a lot of political drama going on right now that I'm not going to wade into. I am not going there. But if you're watching any of the news outlets, you'll know that there's some certain drama going on revolving a former president. And so everybody's attention's on that. The only reason I bring that up, because that doesn't really impact crypto all that much, the only reason I bring that up is because everybody's attention is over there. Everybody's attention is over there preparing for the 2024 elections, which will have an impact on Bitcoin, but that news story doesn't necessarily. Everyone's attention's over there, so we probably aren't going to expect headlines all over CNN, all over Fox News, all over MSNBC, all over Yahoo Finance, all over whatever, saying Bitcoin just broke 28,545, buy, and we're going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin in a week. We're probably just not going to see that much hype. That being said, I think you will see some exuberance coming back into the space. Why? Because there are so many people that are excited about where Bitcoin is going that have been sitting on the sidelines for months and years. Remember, if you look at the market capitalization of our two largest stablecoins, they are sitting at $111 billion. That is $1/9 trillion is sitting in stablecoins. And remember, stablecoin market capitalization does not work the same way as stock and cryptocurrency market capitalization. If the order books are thin enough, you can dump $1 billion into Bitcoin and you can add $10 billion in market capitalization. And if you take $1 billion out of market capitalization and the order books are thin enough, then you can take out $10 billion in market capitalization. It doesn't work that way with Tether and USDC. In theory, every single Tether and every single USDC should be pegged to exactly $1, which means that if you put $1 into Tether, you're creating one Tether of market capitalization, which means that there are really, actually, if everything's legitimate, and there's questions about that on Tether's end, but assuming everything's legitimate, there are literally $80 billion sitting here. $80 billion deployed, which it wouldn't all be deployed at once, but even $8 billion, which is something that you could potentially see deployed over the period of a week or two if you see enough market movement. Even $8 billion is enough to move Bitcoin $100 billion if you're already witnessing a massive rally. And so just keep in mind that macroeconomic factor as well. There may be a dearth of mainstream media reporting in crypto right now, but there is certainly not a dearth of cryptocurrency investment in dry powder sitting on the sidelines. There is perhaps more dry powder awaiting deployment into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency than we have ever witnessed in the history of this industry, not just including the stable coins, but also, of course, including money that is sitting in US dollars, in the treasuries of large institutions, in the savings accounts of individuals, and in people like you and your pocketbook. Plenty of people are ready to deploy money into this industry. And if they see Bitcoin confidently break above 28,545, and we are able to have confidence that we're not just doing one of these little, cry wolf breakouts, but we're actually breaking up there and we're actually going to break out and we're actually going to stay up there, people are ready to deploy billions of dollars. And I think if you confidently break up here and we stay up here and people have confidence that we're not going to come back down here, people are confident that 28,545 is now the bottom, then they will be confident to deploy that money and they will be confident enough to start investing in bull market sense. And that may be the very reason why Bitcoin is only $9 away from 28,545 right now. That very well may be the reason why Bitcoin is within breathing distance of 28,545 right now and why it's attempting to test it again. This market reminds me of a child that goes up to their mother and they say, "Mother, can I have some Choco Me?" That's what our son does. Whenever our 2-year-old walks up to us, he walks up to us and he goes, "Can I have Choco Me?" Because he doesn't know how to say chocolate, so he says Choco. And he doesn't know how to say please, so he says me. So he walks up and he goes, "Can I have Choco Me?" And we say, not right now. But we're not totally against it, right? We're not completely against it. So I'll walk up again 2 minutes later. My wife is right behind the camera and she thinks this is hilarious because she's seen it happen so many times. So he'll walk up to us again 2 minutes later and he says, "Can I have Choco Me?" And we'll say, not right now. We won't say no because we don't want to have to stick to that, because as a parent, if you say no, you got to mean no. So we'll just say, not right now. But then he'll come up another in 3 minutes. He'll say, "Can I have Choco Me?" And then eventually we might just give in and say, "Oh, you've been a good kid. You can have some chocolate." That's kind of what Bitcoin's doing to 28,545 right now. It's saying, "Can I have bull market, please? Can 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 I have bull market, please?" This is getting kind of annoying. Can I have bull market, please? There you go. That's the last time I'll say that. That's what Bitcoin's doing right now. It's saying, "Well, that didn't work, but it almost worked. I wonder if I try again if it would work this time." That's what Bitcoin's doing. It's saying, "Man, we almost did it. We almost broke through 28,545. I know that we can if we're just persistent enough. If we just continue trying, if we just keep asking the right way, maybe we can break 28,545. And that's why when you're in Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis and we talk about resistance, we talk about support and resistance tips over here, one of the big things that we talk about in all of our educational products around support and resistance is that the more times you test support and resistance, the more times you are likely to end up breaking support and resistance. If you test it once or twice, then that's either a single or a double top, and a lot of times it's just over. Think about the kid analogy again, right? Let's say we're trying to test 25,236. We come up and we get a hard no, you're not having chocolate at all. And the kid walks away like, "Oh, I just wanted chocolate." But then if it's kind of like a no, then the kid might be really persistent because he really wants chocolate. Hey, Dad, can I? No, you may not. And then, don't talk to your kids that way. We don't talk to our kids that way. But that's kind of how it works in a lot of part of the world. You get 2 hard no's and the kid's like, "Okay, fine, I'll come back tomorrow." But if the kid walks up and says, "Hey, can I have chocolate, please?" And the parent's like, no, not right now, then they're going to keep trying. And that's what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is continuing to try because it's gotten so close. And dang it, it just wants that chocolate. It wants to see that bull market. And there are so many people sitting on the sidelines in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now just waiting for Bitcoin to break 28,545 because they've got hundreds of thousands of dollars ready to deploy in this market. That's not to mention also all of the different protocols, all of the different decentralized applications, all of the different companies, all of the different YouTube channels, all of the different influencers, all of the different retail investors, all of the different movers and shakers in the cryptocurrency space have been doing so much work over the last 18 months preparing for the next bull market because luckily, due to technical analysis like what we do on this channel, most people understand that there is something called a Bitcoin halving cycle, which means every 4 years, Bitcoin goes into a bull market, which means a bull market is almost certainly starting this year and picking up next year. So people have been preparing, companies and corporations and individuals, retail, institutional investors alike, influencers, everybody, anyone that has an influence on this space, the media have been watching this cryptocurrency market saying we are going to go into hibernation and build mode over the last 18 months. And they all know if they watch this market with any kind of professional and not just professional, but any kind of seriousness, they know that 2023 and 2024 are the golden years that Bitcoin is going to witness. And so when that happens, When that occurs, then you're going to end up seeing a massive rally on Bitcoin, not only because of the halving cycles, but also because people have programmed in their head, wait, a Bitcoin bull market is supposed to happen right now. So then a Bitcoin bull market will happen right now because everybody expects that a Bitcoin bull market will happen right now. And so those, again, are just some of the macro economic factors and internal market factors that are impacting Bitcoin. As to whether or not Bitcoin is going to break 28,545 right now, I have a hunch that it will try. I have a hunch that we will hit at least 28,600. I couldn't tell you whether we're going to break it with a ton of exuberance. What I will say though is that we did just have a bullish MACD cross right below the level, and now we're above it. There you go. We're $10 above. It's funny when you make a call and it happens less than 5 minutes later. That's always interesting. We did just have a bullish MACD cross on the 1 hourly chart. We are right now witnessing RSI break above 50, cross above its 14 interval moving average. And if we look at a few of our technical indicators, now I'm going to have to give you a few updates on the way Lux Algo works now because there has been an update. But essentially, you can look at this, and this is kind of like a buy signal. We've essentially just seen trend catcher turn green, and we saw more or less a buy signal come into play on the 1 hour chart. A regular buy signal come into the market on the 1 hourly chart, indicating that we're going to try and break this again. Even on something like the 2 hourly chart, things are looking pretty bullish. Bullish MACD cross coming into play. RSI broke 50 4 hours ago, 2 candlesticks ago, broke the 14 interval moving average. You can see that the buy signal is already in play. We've got a confirmed buy signal. We've had a confirmed buy signal on 4 hourly chart. Looking at on 2 hour chart, on 4 hour chart, same deal. On daily chart, as you guys know, we're under a confirmed buy signal. We have been for quite some time. You can see that market has been moving to the upside. Trend catchers moving to the upside. And also out here on daily chart, also keep in mind that we saw a bull doji come into play right here. And then we also saw a green-red-green formation. It looked like we were going to see a shooting star formation right here, which would not have been bullish. But now, as of today, we're seeing a big green candlestick. If we close a green candlestick today that is engulfing of this one, then that negates the concern about this being a shooting star formation, and instead it just gives us the potentiality that we just had a major breakthrough. Now, on the 5-minute chart, as you can see, Bitcoin is testing again. One of the things that Bitcoin likes to do, and we have witnessed this happen over and over and over again, is Bitcoin likes to come up here and test a resistance level once or twice before it really, really goes through a big test. Like here's an analogy. Let's say you have a parent that is impatient with their child. Very, very sad state of affairs, but it is something that happens. And I'm definitely not perfect. It's something that we've all struggled with, but some parents struggle with it more than others. Let's say you have a kid and their parent is impatient. So the kid kind of has to try the water, right? The kid has to walk up to their parents and they really have to get a feel for, is daddy upset right now? Like, again, this is not the way it should be. This is a result of a sinful world, but this is the way that this is kind of just the way that it happens. The kid will kind of like inch up and say, is daddy okay right now? Is daddy in a good mood? You know, you've heard that idea. Like, is mommy in a good mood? Is daddy in a good mood? That's what the market's doing right over here. Are they in a good mood? Are they is now a good time? Like, it's like the kid walking in and saying, is now a good time? And then if it is a good time, then the market will just, okay, then it'll go for broke. Can I have Choco Me? And the market will just go for this big breakout. That's kind of what Bitcoin does before it goes through a rally. What I mean is that it'll walk up and it'll say, is now a good time? And it'll just dip its little toe in the water. Just a tiny little breakout. Tiny little breakout. This is $4. This is cute, guys. $4 breakout above 28,545. Let's look at the 10-second chart here just to get an idea of just how adorable this little prod is. Again, the resistance is 28,545. A little, can I, please? It's just getting just a tiny little ass to get the idea. Bitcoin rallied here. I'm sorry, I said $4. $14 above the resistance. Wow, that was huge. Just kind of getting a feel for it. What's going to happen? Are we going to get kind of rejected a little bit? Okay, we're good. We can try this again. Or are we just going to flash crash? Well, we didn't flash crash. We kind of traded sideways in this little cup right here. So now Bitcoin's trying again with a little bit more enthusiasm. It's come up here and tested the resistance 4 times now. It says, can I have Choco Me? That's what it's just done. It just asked it. And so now Bitcoin is probably going to try and test 28,545 with greater enthusiasm over the next couple of minutes. Or if it doesn't, it's probably going to go through a big drop. But I think it's going to test it with quite a bit of enthusiasm. And actually, that's what we're seeing happen right now. It's always fun watching that happen. I love that. I love watching markets and saying, I think this is going to happen. And then boom, just watch, it happens. Like, I'm not like... Anyway, I don't want you guys to give me any credit for those kind of things, because that does happen quite a bit on this stream, where I say, I think it's about to go through a pretty big breakout, and then it just does it right there. By the way, we're witnessing the major breakout. We're on the 10-second chart right here. Let's go down to the 1-second chart just so we can get a really good feel. Don't give me any of the credit for that. Give the Lord Jesus credit for giving me all the blessings that I've received to be able to have a platform where you guys can see me like this. And then also give technical analysis the credit, because technical analysis is the gate and key here. I am nothing special, guys. I'm just a guy that reads charts. I've been doing it for 6 years, so I do have a pretty good gut feeling about it. But you guys can do exactly what I'm doing here, where I say, hey, look, I think something's about to happen. And sometimes, not all the time, I'm definitely not perfect, but sometimes it actually does it. And just then was a good example. It's always a good feeling. And if you are an investor in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, then you can do the same thing by learning technical analysis. You can learn technical analysis over in Principles of Technical Analysis. All right, you can find the first link for that in the description. But as you can see, Bitcoin did just set a new local high at 28,644. That's what we talked about. I said that you might see Bitcoin break about $100 above the local level of support, of resistance at 28,545. Now the big question comes in, will Bitcoin flash crash from here, or can it stay up here for more than like 2 minutes? That's really the question, because Bitcoin just being up here a little bit, it just doesn't matter all that much, to be quite honest, just yet. This breakout in size, as it stands right now, is not that significant. We've done this before. We've come up here and stayed up there for 5-10 minutes at most. What I want to see is either Bitcoin stays up here for a long time, or it goes a long way. Those are the two ways that you can add confidence to a breakout above resistance. Either you go very far to the upside, or you stay above the level for a very long time. Looks like Bitcoin's going to struggle this time. Maybe it's not getting chocolate this time. But again, guys, if you are just persistent in asking your parents for chocolate, eventually, if you do a good enough job, if you're a good boy, if you're a good kid, then eventually, if you have good parents, and Bitcoin has good parents, then the parents will probably give you a treat. And I think that's what's going to happen. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to get it here at 28,545. I think eventually Bitcoin's going to get what it's looking for, but it also might not be the right timing. The funny thing is, little kids are not always the best at timing. And sometimes my son wants chocolate when it's midnight. And I'm like, dude, it's bedtime right now. I'm not sure what you think you're doing. We're not getting chocolate. You're supposed to be asleep. What are you doing awake? And so maybe Bitcoin's doing a little bit of that, saying, I want chocolate. And it's midnight, like my son did 2 nights ago. And what I mean by that is that Bitcoin, in the same way, sometimes just doesn't have the best timing. Sometimes Bitcoin tries to break a resistance at the wrong time. Bitcoin's trying to break the resistance right now when you give it a week and a half, and people are going to be super excited for the CPI release. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trying here. Now, my son, it was a valiant effort. He did not get chocolate that night. I know. I don't feel bad about it at all. He got chocolate the next morning. But anyway, my point is that Bitcoin very rarely is, not very rarely, sometimes Bitcoin is not going to try at exactly the right time. But if Bitcoin continues to try, eventually, if it waits long enough and it just keeps trying, then it will be the right time. And April 12th is going to be that right time. So where does Bitcoin go from here? Again, we've kind of looked at where we were. In Revelation, it says the things that were, the things that are, and the things that will be. And that's kind of the outlining of the book of Revelation. We just kind of looked at the things that were. The last 3 months, we were looking at the things that are. Those are the things that are right now. And we're going to now look at the things that will be. Where is Bitcoin going to go? Well, very likely, Bitcoin is going to break 28,545 with a lot of enthusiasm over the next 2 weeks. May happen right now, and you can even tell that I'm kind of thinking, oh, this is the boy who cried wolf right now, a little bit, because we're actually $100 above the resistance, and I'm just not too impressed because Bitcoin's done this so many times. But at some point, Bitcoin will actually mean it, and it will actually break through with a lot of resistance. With a lot of support. With a lot of strength is the word I was going for. And I do think that'll happen around the April 12th CPI data release. If it happens before then great. That will just give us more fuel to the fire, and Bitcoin will end up rallying again, probably to $30,000 and stop there for gas, but then potentially continue rallying even higher. The things that will be are very simple in my book. If Bitcoin can hold above this uptrending level of support at best, or at worst, hold above this uptrending level of support at 26,686, and then just kind of coast here into the April 12th rally, that's where it's going to get a shot of nitrous, and it's going to go to the moon. And I think you'll see Bitcoin trading at $32,000 to $33,000 within just the span of weeks. Now, guys, technical analysis can be pretty complicated, but it is not impossible. I remember when I got into the cryptocurrency space, it was so difficult for me to understand what these markets were doing. I could tell that in general, They were aligned. You know, a lot of people start out on a chart like this. They start out with a line chart because it just makes more sense. And they're wondering, why should I use these little funny looking green boxes that look like a box and whisker plot from 8th grade math? Why should I use these little candlestick things? Why are they called candlesticks? And we don't understand technical analysis when we start. We don't understand indicators when we start. We don't understand cycles when we start. We don't understand confirmation and divergence and convergence and all these different concepts. We don't understand how to read the language. I mean, if you walk up to somebody that speaks Chinese and you've never spoken Chinese before in your life and they start speaking to you, you're going to say, what? But because you understand the way language works, you're going to understand, wait a minute, I could learn that language if I put enough time into it. And if I did, then I could have a conversation with this person. That's a little bit like how technical analysis works. When you first look at a market, you might kind of get this little hunch in the back of your head, like, it seems like there's some kind of rhyme and reason to this, but you just have no idea. Somebody speaks to you in Spanish, and if you don't know Spanish, then you can normally tell that it's not gibberish. Even if there's not any kind of understanding of a language, normally, if somebody's speaking to you in a language, you can tell that they're not just speaking gibberish. They're not just going, they're not just doing what my 2-year-old was doing at dinner last night, just making random noises. There's an actual language there, right? Because there's structure. That's what happens when you first look at a chart. You say, I don't know how to read this, but it seems like there's something going on here that if I put enough time and effort into, I could understand. And that's what technical analysis is. You see, whenever the market walks up to you, or you walk up to the market and you're reading the market's going to look at you and it's going to say, I want you to understand what I'm saying. And it's speaking to you in its own language. It's speaking to you in the language of technical analysis. And you, my friend, want to be successful in cryptocurrency. You, my friend, want to be able to predict where these markets are going so that you can trade and invest in them properly and build for yourself a full-time income in cryptocurrency, or build a full-time investment portfolio in cryptocurrency, whatever it may be. You want to generate wealth and financial sovereignty in cryptocurrency, which I simply define as not having your money control you, but you having control and sovereignty over your money, your life not revolving around your money, but your money helping you in whatever your life does revolve around. That's financial sovereignty. That's the core of this channel. That's what we're trying to help you guys achieve. The market speaks to you in the language of technical analysis. And for you to understand that language, you have to then first learn the language. There's no Duolingo for technical analysis, but there is Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. And this course is built on nearly 6 years of experience that I and our team have at analyzing these markets so that we can understand how they are moving, where they are moving, why they're moving, where they're going, where they've been, what they're doing now. And through bringing you guys thousands of videos here on the YouTube channel, we have learned over the course of over half a decade how to do technical analysis in this market in a way where I can look at a market and I can tell you with a lot of confidence, I am pretty sure I think I know where this market's going. But I also have the confidence to tell you, look, guys, market's not saying much to me right now. It's not speaking very much to me right now. It's mostly quiet. It's just kind of sitting there. It's not giving me much to go off of. So right now I can't tell you too much. But sometimes I can tell you a whole lot. And what I act as is a translator for you and the cryptocurrency markets. But ultimately, if you want to, let's say, marry somebody who speaks a different language, you can't rely on a translator. You need to learn the language yourself. And if you want to marry your finances to cryptocurrency through investment and trading, you can't just rely on a translator. A translator can help you learn the language. A translator can help you say, maybe use this phrasing and not that phrasing because it works better in this culture. But ultimately, you have to learn it for yourself. If you want to be a successful trader and entrepreneur and investor in the cryptocurrency space, you must learn technical analysis. I don't believe there's any other way to do it. And I also don't believe that there's any other place better than Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis to learn technical analysis. In this video, in this series of over 60 videos, we teach you guys everything that you need to know about technical analysis to get a great start, to really get started reading and analyzing the market so you understand what they're doing, where they're going. And because, guys, I want to teach you to fish, not just give you a fish. I don't want to just translate for you. I want to teach you how to speak the language, because I want you to be truly successful, not just reliant on me. You know, I want you to learn technical analysis. So if for some reason you say, I don't like Jebb anymore, I'm going to throw him out the window, you guys at least have the technical expertise to go forward and work in these markets. And that's where all these videos come in. We've got concepts in here that you're not going to learn anywhere else, like math psychology. We've got concepts that are very important, like the psychology of candlesticks. There's certain things about candlesticks that work in a certain way because of the way they're shaped, and there's certain things that you can read into what the market is thinking based on the way the candlestick operates. It's almost like reading body language in human language. There's more to it than just the words, right? There's intonation behind the speech. There's body language There's shifts in posture. There's all sorts of things in linguistics. It's the same thing in technical analysis. So we dive not only into the how the technical indicators work, because if I just told you, oh, MACD is calculated with the MACD and the signal line, and you got your 26 and your 12, and they go by close. If I just gave you that, then I could have just given you a flashcard, and then boom, we would have been done. But what I want to do is I want to teach you not just how the market works, not just what the indicators are and how they're calculated. I also want to teach you what they're really trying to tell you and bring that living nature of the market to life and share it with you. In a lot of ways, the market is like a living creature. I'm not saying it has a soul. I'm not saying that. But a market is generally made up of the thoughts and feelings and emotions of all of the different constituent traders, of all of the different people that are putting money into the cryptocurrency space, of all the different people that are trading and investing. So in a way, a market is almost the markets of the world were almost the very first hive mind consciousness that humans ever created. Now you've got things like Twitter, now you've got things like YouTube, where everybody can put their thoughts out there and everybody's having a giant conversation globally. Markets were the first example of that, because whenever you buy into a market or sell a market, you are doing so because of information that you are holding in your heart. And so there's a language and there's a mindset and there's a psychology to the market. And so we want to talk about all of that. And that's where Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis comes in. It is the next generation of an academy that I released almost 5 years ago now. September 23rd, 2018 was when it was released. That was called the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. It was much smaller back then. Started out with 20 videos, ballooned into about 60. We had over 5,000 people go through CT2A and learn everything that they needed to know to get a firm foundation and start in technical analysis. And a lot of those people are now joining Club DeFi because it's the next stage. I've learned a lot in the preceding 5 years, and I've been pouring a lot of work into Club DeFi, and I want you guys to learn a lot about Club DeFi and to learn a lot about technical analysis through Club DeFi, I should say. So, two things. Number one, if you are a CT2A alumni, first and foremost, I want you to shoot us an email, support@cryptojebb.com, because we've got a coupon code waiting for you. It's $100 off Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. And if you were a Club DeFi beta member, which means that you were paying on a monthly basis, because a lot of you guys were in the beta, about 400 of you guys were in the beta, paying the monthly price for the beta access, then you guys have a coupon code waiting for you as well, equivalent to however much money you put into the beta. Shoot us an email, support@cryptojebb.com. Shoot us just a screenshot, if you can, of the payment history in Stripe or PayPal or wherever it was that you were doing your payments. There were a few different payment processors active back then, and we will give you a discount for however much you put into the beta. Some people have gotten, I think 3 people have gotten $175 off of Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis because they were in the $25 a month pool for 7 months. That's $175. So if you're in that camp, you've also got a coupon code waiting for you. We might do a sale in the future. We're not doing the kind of flash sale deal that we did with CT2A. Might go on sale once or twice a year, maybe. I wouldn't count on it. We don't have any sales planned because I do think it's worth every single penny for an education. All right, let's look at the chart really quickly here, and then I'll read some chat and we'll wrap it out. Bitcoin has currently fallen back below 28,545. This is kind of what I'm talking about. I think Bitcoin may end up having some struggle here over the next couple of hours, but I would keep a very close and weather eye on this market because it is trying. It is trying really hard. And when the market's trying this hard to break resistance, a lot of times it will eventually get its way. You know, the kid walks up and says, "Can I have chocolate me?" And he asks 20 or 30 times for 4 days straight. Eventually, you're just going to give the kid chocolate because it's like, dude, you're a pretty good kid. What's the harm in a piece of chocolate, right? As long as they're not like allergic to it or something, that'd be terrible. All right, let's read some chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had over 1,200 people watching just a little bit ago. Thank you guys so very much for everything that you guys have done for us. The first chat I want to read would be from Rick4962, Yard Dog. He donated $50. Thank you so very, very much. He said, "Our Heavenly Father wants everyone to put their armor on and keep the faith." Absolutely. Very, very important to have the whole armor of God on. Jebb, prayers for your family and all of your viewers. Guys, if you don't know, I am a believer in Jesus Christ, and I am definitely very thankful for all the work he's done in my life. Guys, I was a very impatient, angry, rude, mean man before I met Christ, and I can tell you today that I'm not perfect, but I am changed in a way that I would not have been able to change myself. So all glory to God for that. All right, let's read a couple more of these chats up here. Let's see. Crypto Smitty said, "Good morning, y'all." Silent in chat. Crypto Smitty and Silent in chat. Silent said, "Good morning, Crypto fam." Crypto Surg said, "Let's go, Jebb effect." Yep. Let's see. Good morning, Jebb. God bless you and Sarah and your new baby coming. Thank you so much. Smay is hiking to Mordor. Yes. That's a pretty cool series he's got going there. Christian does. Let's see. Jebb, you being off center is distracting. Just a touch to your left. I might go a touch to my left, but the thing is, that's kind of the way it. Yeah, I might end up doing that. We'll see. Jeff Farmer said, "Love the new set." Thank you so much. Know the videos on the page explain. It's been quite a while. Thank you so much, Crypto Mini Bike, for your support. It has that log cabin feel. I like it. Thank you, Robert Casanova. I'm very excited about it. Let's see. I predict Jessica for the Jebb's daughter name. Nope. I'm not going to tell you any information just yet, but we shall see. TA seems like a lot to learn if you're just DCing and investing, not trading. The thing is, TA is not actually that hard to learn. It is very hard to learn if you don't have a guide. I had to spend a lot of time learning it, but I think that you can learn it very easily in Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. It's actually a lot more simple than you think. The thing that takes a long time is the kind of gut feeling intuition that I've built up over the last 5 years. But the TA itself is actually relatively simple. It's not as hard as you think, and that's one of the things I want you guys to know is that the reason I built Club DeFi was so that I could make it simple for you. These videos, most of the times, are under 5 minutes long to teach you something very useful like MACD. Give it 5 minutes to learn MACD, moving average convergence divergence. It's going to change the game for you in an investing sense. Sure, you can be an investor without learning technical analysis, but you're going to be missing out on so much understanding of what your asset is doing. If you are a holder of Apple, you need to understand at least somewhat what Apple is doing. You might not be Tim Cook level of understanding, but you should at least read the quarterlies. You should at least read some of the financial reports, right? You should at least understand their why. You should at least understand some of it. And so if you're an investor, sure, you might not need as much of an understanding in technical analysis, but I think it is absolutely necessary that you have at least a basic understanding of that market, of the analysis. Eric Bruinix say, congrats above 300 likes. Thank you so much. Daughter's name will be Cardana. I don't know. Let's see. You need a Bitcoin onesie. Let's see. Congrats, bro. Congratulations. Thank you guys so much. If I had to guess, Jebb probably went with a name in the Bible, Naomi Ruth or something like that for his daughter. Esther, that's a name. I don't know. Somebody has a very intriguing thought process there. I like it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm very glad I dodged that piece of news. A lot of people are have very much, quite a lot of ideas about things in chat right now. Chocolate me. People like that story, I think. Can I have a bull market, please? Yes, exactly. Can I have a bull market, please? Honestly, I don't think markets move if you ask nicely, bro. No. I'm not saying they're asking nicely. I'm talking about the persistence. That's what I'm getting at, is the persistence. 32K, retest 25, then 40K. Maybe that's a pretty big drop. I'm not sure about that. All right. No bull this year, my dude? I think so. I think we will. We already have. Not bull market, but a lot of bullishness. All right. Let's see. Let us see. Teutonic. This plague is bubonic. That's a reference. Who gets that? Jedi, let's say here. Mom, Dad, chuckle me from your 40-year-old son. Yeah, my 2-year-old tells me that. Let's see. Chinese is not a language. I'm sorry. Mandarin. I know better. Jebb, your son is spamming the parent chat with chuckle me. Yes, that's it. That's exactly how you spell it too. Jebb, God bless you for giving us direction. God bless you as well. Guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Congratulations. I just had a little girl. Made me believe in God again. Best thing in my life. Blessings, Jebb. Yep. God is good. God is good. But God's goodness does not always look like what we think God's goodness is. Just so you know. Just keep that in mind. God is very, 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 very good. But there are times where God will do things that you don't understand. But that's not because he's not good. He is the definition of good after all. Guys, my daughter has been born. I'd like to introduce you to Crypto Christina. Nope. I'll tell you right now, she's not gonna have the name. She's not gonna have crypto in her name. And that's not gonna happen. But maybe she'll grow up to like crypto. Anyway, guys, I'm a little bit over time, but I hope you did enjoy today's stream. I hope you did enjoy. I hope you do enjoy the new set. Let me know what you think in chat about that. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. Don't forget, guys, it's so important to understand technical analysis, because if you understand technical analysis, that's really where your success is going to come from in crypto. But it really kind of is just the only way. You're not going to be as successful in crypto, anywhere near as successful in crypto as you want to be, with just reading the news or just watching this live stream. You've got to learn the language yourself. If you're going to marry your finances to crypto, then just the same way if you're marrying a person, you got to at least understand one of the languages that they speak. You know, my wife speaks English and Spanish, and I can speak English. I'm not very good at speaking Spanish. I can speak a little bit, but at least we speak one language that we can both understand, right? So we can communicate. You've got to understand the language of technical analysis if you were going to really get into cryptocurrency. And I want you to really get into cryptocurrency because there's a lot of opportunity here, but it requires some education on your part. I know you guys understand that to be successful financially, it takes some work. I have never, ever been a channel that says you can get rich quick overnight, make $1 million in 30 days doing this. That's not this channel, because that's not real life. That happens sometimes. And there are very lucrative business models out there, and I'm not afraid to talk about those also. But every single person that has ever made real wealth for themselves and kept it, that's a big part of financial sovereignty, is not just making $1 million, it's keeping it through wise financial practices. They had to invest in some education, and you do too. But I know you guys are willing to, because you're willing to sit here and listen to this guy talk for an hour. So I know you guys are willing to do that. So it shouldn't be a problem for you. Sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. Use the coupon codes if you are in either one of those camps, in CT2A or in Club DeFi's beta. Shoot us an email, support@cryptojebb.com, if you fall into one of those buckets. Again, if you guys enjoyed today's stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all of our social media. You can find the links down below, and stay tuned, because especially after the baby gets here and we're kind of settled into our new life with two children, we've got a lot of plans, and I think you're really going to love what we're going to be doing with the channel. This set is just the beginning, guys. We've got so much more stuff that we're working on. Cannot wait to bring you guys the highest quality technical analysis, and geopolitical macroeconomic analysis in the cryptocurrency markets, bar none. I love all my colleagues on YouTube, but guys, I'm going to set a new standard. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am going to have to go ahead and wrap it out, but before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.